On the face of it, this looks like the compass, but the matte black decal on the hood, the skid plates, the blackened grille, the 17-inch heavy-duty alloys, and of course the two badges, the Trailhawk one at the rear and the trail-rated one on the side, let you know that this is the hardcore version of the Jeep Compass. What's missing on the India spec one is the red tow hook at the front. There's only one at the rear, and this is to adhere to pedestrian safety regulations. Well, the Compass impressed us thoroughly when it was launched. Will the Trailhawk be as impressive?
Well, today I'm out here in the jungle. That's because I'm taking the Jeep Trailhawk and putting it in its natural habitat. This is the hardcore version of the Compass, and we're giving it the full off-road test.
The Trailhawk gets the low range and an added rock mode to its range of terrains on the 4x4 system.
A lot of stuff ahead: rock crawling, water fording, steep ascents, descents, the works. We're going to throw everything at it, so let's see what happens.
The crawl ratio it's capable of is 20:1, and ground clearance is now up 27 millimeters. It's nowhere near an Endeavour or Fortuner, but the trail will tell us if it's good enough. And we're told that trail rating is earned after passing a series of grueling tests, not just given out. The ruts in front of me are looking pretty darn huge, and the engineers have thrown another number at us. The ramp travel index is 321. This is basically the measure of the ability of the car to flex its suspension or axle articulation.
Okay, so a steep rut now and a crazy sideways. Yep. And it's this way and that, but it's done it pretty easily. Just a little gas, slowly, steadily, and we're through.
Yup, I guess trail rating has to be earned. 5 performance areas are judged to get this badge: traction, water fording, maneuverability, articulation, and ground clearance. The track that we have is designed to show off the capabilities. And I quickly knock it into 4-wheel low and shift the dial to rock.
And now for a spot of rock crawling.
Next, I need to turn the dial to dirt because there is a seriously steep slope packed with loose dirt ahead of me.
There's loose gravel, steep incline, but it's just detecting where the slip is, sending the power to that wheel. And I am climbing this so easily.
And then there is the descent that's extremely slippery too, and I hit the hill descent control.
Okay, this is a crazy gradient. And the hill descent is doing it all for me. My foot's off the brake, trust me, and I'm looking at the ground. This is absolute nuts.
There is water, but it's a small little stream, which is really no test for the 48.3 water wading capacity and the increased snorkel height, which is 120 millimeters more at 840 millimeters. It sails through, needless to say. There are all kinds of obstacles, and the redesigned bumpers, which give it an approach angle of 26.5 degrees, a breakover of 21.2 degrees, and a departure of 31.6 degrees, are all tested thoroughly.
Pretty much makes everything that looks really terrible from the outside feel really simple on the inside.
Okay, so the Trailhawk has blazed his way through the off-road course, but that's not all that's new. There is the BS6 compliant version of the 2-litre diesel engine. Also, engineers tell us that the steering and suspension have been retuned to adapt better to Indian conditions. Well, yesterday we put the Trailhawk to the test in its natural habitat on the off-road track, and it came out with flying colors. But today we're going to take it on-road and see what this diesel automatic is like to drive. Once I get in, I realized that there really isn't much new on the interior. Well, a few changes on the inside as well. You don't get the dual tone, but you get a single colored dash. The finishing around the infotainment system is now this matte black instead of the piano glossy black. You get body colored accents around the dials and meters on the dual tone stitching, the Trailhawk logo around the speakers, around the gear lever, and of course you get the auto box, which is the big change. But there are a few features that are missing from the Limited Plus version. Let's take a look at that. It does miss powered driver's seat, auto headlights and wipers, and though the massive panoramic sunroof is there on our test car, you will have to shell out extra for this option. But let's take a look at what you get with the Trailhawk. Start it up, and instantly I realized this is more refined. You know, that clatter is really gone. And yes, it's significantly more refined, this engine. The engine makes the same power and torque as before, but it feels quite different. Now, the way this car delivers power has really changed. It sort of feels blunted, but it's better drivability. So it's now a very smooth delivery of power. There's no lag and then a sudden surge. It's just very, very linear. Low-speed drivability is better, which means the daily grind is going to be really smooth. And although it misses the punch, you don't ever lack for power. Of course, now it comes with the 9-speed auto box. The shifts are really smooth. Upshifts come easily. Downshifts as well, you don't really feel them. Progress is smooth at all times, but it's really not the quickest of boxes. It's only when you demand a sudden big burst of power that the gearbox hesitates a bit. Otherwise, if you use path throttle, it feels really smooth. The thing is that it shifts up quite rapidly, keeping the engine running at low revs. It isn't quick in manual mode either, and there is no sport mode to sharpen the responses. The 0 to 100 in our test came up in 12.5 seconds. Now, this car always had good ride quality, but it's gotten even better. It just damps out all the bumps and potholes on the road really, really well. Gentler rebound has addressed much of the standard Compass's low-speed firmness. Even at higher speeds, the Trailhawk feels better damped. Body movements are also really well contained. The tyres, however, don't hold up to its capability and squeal in protest even in medium corners. Push hard into a turn and the Trailhawk will venture into understeer. The steering at lower speeds does feel a lot lighter now, once again because you need to be able to maneuver the steering really easily when you're rock crawling and in off-road tight sections. But as you build up the power, it still gives you a really good connected feel to the road. If you're an off-road enthusiast, there's no doubt the Jeep Trailhawk is sure to please you. But it's not just the enthusiast. For anyone who's looking to buy an SUV and find the existing ladder frame SUVs too unwieldy, the Jeep Trailhawk is just the right option. It's a hardcore Jeep with go-anywhere capability that's also suitable for the daily grind. The added draw is the convenience of the automatic, which makes it easy for crowded cities, and the improvement to the ride and comfort make it better than before. We expect it to be priced around 25 lakhs ex-showroom, and that may seem pricey. But the fact is, few models can match the Compass Trailhawk's breadth of abilities, and if you want an SUV that does it all, this is it.